Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to this episode of 5 Easy Tips. And in this video, we're going to take a look at 5 different things that I promise you, if you learn to use properly and implement it into your game, you will do so much better. And one of the things I'm actually going to show you later on in this video, I was a little bit hesitant in including because it feels like it's a huge cheat and is one of the reasons I've been able to get nukes every other game. And for some reason, no one uses its counter. And when you kill the enemy, they can't even know you're using it in the kill cam. Now, this is also the reason I've been waiting to do this video until I had a ton of playtime on Infinite Warfare, so I can give you some genuine tips, cheats, and hacks, whatever you want to call them, to actually make a big difference to you in game, as I know it's been a difficult game to adapt to. But anyway, let's get into the first tip to make you better at Infinite Warfare. Now, this is one tip I personally got really excited about, because in the most recent Call of Duty games, sound whoring has been nowhere near as good as it once was. Back in like Modern Warfare 3, for example, where you could practically play the game blind if you really wanted to, especially using a shotgun, because when using Amplify and Dead Silence together, everyone's footsteps were so ridiculously loud. It was just like listening out for metal flip-flops running all over the place. But in Infinite Warfare, you can still sound whore to a good level, and if you combine it with everything else that you'll learn in this video, you'll die a lot less. So what you'll first want to do is go to your audio options in the options menu, and you'll be able to see the volume bars for volume, voice volume, music volume, and effects volume, and they're all at full. However, because we're going to want to be able to sound whore in game, you're going to want to turn voice and music volume completely off and leave effects volume, aka the enemy footsteps, gunshots, and boosts, to the max. Then you'll want to change your mix preset to headphones. You can still sound whore without headphones, but you'll be far less effective than if you just used a pair. Now, this step is the most important if you want to sound whore. In your class setup, you need to make sure that you're using Dead Silence, a perk from what I've seen so far, no one has really been using, as the perks are quite underpowered when you think about it compared to weapon attachments and rig traits. Then with these settings, when you hop into a game, you'll be able to hear everything going on around you. Then all you need to do is practice. Learn the sounds of certain parts of the map make so you know exactly where the enemy are, and after a few days of using these settings, it'll just become second nature. Now, this next tip I'm going to be giving you is one I've been using since day one of Infinite Warfare coming out, and I'm honestly surprised I don't see more people taking advantage of it in public matches, especially if you combine it with sound whoring. I feel like it can be just slightly overpowered, and that is using Merc's Man-at-Arms trait. Now, I'm going to be honest, on the surface, it doesn't sound as incredible as so many other of Infinite Warfare's rigs traits, but believe me, this thing is an absolute monster if you use it correctly. The trait allows you to start with maximum ammo capacity, instantly meaning you don't need to run Scavenger on your class setup, which is a perk you pretty much always have to use if you want to go on big streaks. But the most important thing is that weapons no longer slow default movement, which means it doesn't matter what gun you use, you'll always move at the default movement speed, which means light machine guns actually become one of the best guns in the game from one of the worst if you wanted to run and gun, because you would just move so damn slow. So what you'll want to do is use Merc, select the Man-at-Arms trait, and also use the reactive armor payload. Then for your class setup, you can use any LMG you would like, pretty much whichever is the best weapon variant you have. I quite like the raw repeater, as it means you never have to really reload and always have max ammo. But the Mauler Ruin is also awesome if you want to get yourself some nukes. And then you'll just want to go ahead and use this class loadout, and obviously include Dead Silence so you can sound whore, and you'll be shocked at how powerful this class is. You'll never have to reload. You'll be able to outgun any assault rifle even though you move at the exact same speed as them. It's hands down one of my favorite class setups in the entire game. And now it's time for the tip, which I've been a little bit hesitant in including because it is completely and utterly game-changing. It changes how you play Infinite Warfare completely. It stops you getting shot in the back. It allows you to always be pushing the enemy team and makes the pace of the game so incredibly fast. If you want to get nukes, if you want to get 100 kills a game, or even just not get shot in the back, because trust me, I know how frustrating that can be, you want to be using the personal radar tactic. And now, I know what most of you are thinking. How is that the most overpowered, game-changing thing in the game? I used it on the default class. but trust me, it has become the thing that I have to have on every single one of my class setups, and has also forced me to constantly use the Warfighter rig because it is so damn good. It's the reason I can get a De-Atomiser Strike every other game, and what's so good about it is no one can even know you're using it in the game because it doesn't appear on the kill cam when you kill someone while using it. Now, I'm going to spend a little bit of time explaining this so you can take full advantage of it because it is so powerful and I don't want you to miss out. So first things first, the class setup that you'll need to use. For this to work, you'll need to use the Warfighter combat rig. I personally use Overdrive as my payload as I'm trying to get nukes, so I have to use my NV4 Fallout, so the Claw is a no-go, and getting more score streaks isn't useful to me because, let's be honest, everyone uses Ghosts, so UAVs are practically hopeless, and the trait that allows this all to happen, and is my favorite trait in the game, is Resupply. Now, Resupply allows you to resupply lethals and tacticals by picking up ammo boxes after successful kills with non-explosive ballistic or energy weapons, effectively the exact same as Scavenger. So when you get a kill with your gun, you just run over the body and you've got another personal radar to use. You can also combine this with a couple of weapon variants which just make it even better, like the K-Bar Horde. It's almost as good as having a constant Blackbird up from other Call of Duty games. Now, this is a class setup I would recommend using if you're going to go ahead and use this tip, as it works perfectly for me, but I'm sure there are loads of other setups that work just as well. Now it's finally time to teach you how to use the personal radar so you can take full advantage of it. When you activate the personal radar, it will be available for 5 seconds and will point you in the direction of enemy players. If the outer circle is lit up, they're quite far away, maybe even the other side of the map. This is really useful to help notice when spawns have changed. If the middle one is lit up, they're getting pretty damn close to you, so you should stop sprinting and aim in the direction they're coming from. If the one closest to the center is lit up, they're going to be right on top of you, so you should be pre-aiming and getting ready to pick up those kills. But honestly, this just takes a bit of practice to get used to, just like any other game mechanic, but you'll be shocked at how incredibly overpowered it is. When you take down an enemy, just make sure to go pick up the resupply so you have a constant flow of personal radars. Now, something I've heard a lot of people complain about in Infinite Warfare is the fact that they get shot in the back all the damn time. And I'm going to be honest, it is quite possibly one of the most frustrating things that can ever happen to you, especially if it's a game where you are being completely dominated by the other team and you're trying to get a foothold back in the game. However, this tip will help you kill 2 birds with 1 stone, stopping you getting shot in the back and helping you win every game of domination you ever play. So what you'll want to do is use another trait available in the game, which is probably another one of the most overlooked traits, because it's just something we've never had in any other Call of Duty game before, and that's FTL's perception trait, which makes your HUD pulse yellow when enemies out of your view are targeting you. This means that you can hold a position on a map, and if an enemy player somehow gets behind you, your screen will flash yellow, giving you time to quickly turn around and take them out before they shoot you in the back, and therefore ending your streak. Not only does this trait stop you from getting shot in the back as much, but in game modes like Domination, it makes you the ultimate objective player when paired with the Dome Shield Tactical. Because the Dome Shield's weakness is if someone runs through it from an angle you're not looking at, but thanks to Perception, it means you can capture an objective and focus on one area that the enemy team are likely to come from. But if your screen flashes yellow, it means that you can react and take out the ninja trying to run at you and stop you capturing the objective from another angle. Oh yeah, and playing as FTL also means you get the best payload weapon in the entire game, the Eraser. But trust me, if you're trying to get your win-loss ratio up and stop getting shot in the back, try out this trait. It's absolutely incredible. And finally, this tip is something I touched on a little bit earlier on in the video, and that's all to do with weapon variants. Make sure you're using the best possible weapon variant possible to complement your class setup or what you're trying to achieve in Infinite Warfare. This Call of Duty game is the first game we've had so much choice. For example, why use Scavenger when you're using the Raw Repeater, as you're going to be regenerating bullets all the time, as it's an energy weapon and it will refill your magazine when you get a headshot? Why use a grip with the NV4 Fallout when it already has stability? And if you're trying to level up quickly, use weapons like the Vault Corruption if you're lucky enough to get it. But it's one of the smallest things that can make a huge improvement over the course of a game. Spend some time to choose your class setup depending on the weapon variant variants you've been lucky enough to get from supply drops or buy from salvage. But there we have it, 5 tips that will definitely make you better at Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. If you want to improve your aim, make sure to go check out that video by clicking the link on screen. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and do share any other tips you have in the comments below. I really enjoy reading them, and I'll see you guys next time.